Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to cover the basic operations with fractions. Now, people think of fractions sometimes as this complicated thing that has special rules that's difficult to work with, and you don't need to think that at all when you realize fractions is just division. Like 3 over 4, it's just 3 divided by 4. It's just another way of writing division, and that's all it is. Operations with fractions, it's just operations with division. So then why do we write division sometimes in this unique way? Well, because for some numbers, it's easier to think of division in this way. There's your number line, 0, 1, 2, 3. These are whole numbers. But there's a whole lot of other numbers. Between 0 and 1, there's 1/2, there's 1/4, there's 1/3. There's infinitely many numbers between 0 and 1 that can be written in the form of 1 divided by something. So what are these numbers? Well, let's look at 1/2, okay? 1/2 is something that you have to add twice in order to get 1. 1/3 is something that you have to add 3 times in order to get 1. Okay? 1/8 is something that you have to add a times in order to get 1. Now, we talked about that in a previous video, that division is just a form of addition. 1 divided by 2 is a number that you have to add twice to get 1. Alternatively, you have to multiply it by 2 to get 1. 1 divided by 3 is a number that you have to add 3 times to get 1. Alternatively, it's a number you have to multiply by 3, that's what adding it 3 times means, in order to get 1. And 1 divided by a is a number that you have to add a times in order to get 1. Or it's a number that multiplying by a gives you 1. That's what fractions are. That's why it's useful to write things in terms of division. Okay, 1/2 is 1 divided by 2. It's the thing that you need 2 of to get 1. 1/17 is 1 divided by 17. It's the thing that you need 17 of It's the thing that you need 17 of in order to get 1. Every other fraction is just a multiple of a fraction like that. 3/4, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's not 1/4, it's 3/4. It's a fourth plus another fourth plus another fourth. Or alternatively, it's 3 times 1/4. That's what adding a 4 3 times is. It means multiplying it by 3. Now, once you realize that that's what fractions are, that a over b, it's just a divided by 1 over b, or alternatively a times 1 over b, well, then that changes everything. Because if a divided by b is a times 1 over b, and this is true for all division, well, then all division is just multiplication. See, all division is just multiplying by a fraction in the form of 1 over the number that you're dividing by. For example, 5 divided by 3. Well, that's 5 times 1/3. Okay, 15 divided by 5. Well, that's 15 times 1/5. And so on. Once you realize that that's what fractions are, that's what division is, that all division is just multiplication of this form, then all fraction operations become much more obvious. Let's start with adding and subtracting numbers with the same denominator. 3/7 plus 2/7 minus 4/7. Well, what's going on here? Well, you have 3 times 1/7 plus 2 times 1/7 minus 4 times 1/7. So how many sevenths do you have? Well, you have 3 of something, and then you add 2, you get 5. And then you subtract 4 of those things, well, you're left with 1. So you have 1/7, or just 1/7. Okay? As another example, let's say you have 10/15 plus 7/15 minus 8/15. Well, you've got 10 of something, that something being a 15th, that something being the thing you have to add 15 times to get 1. And then you have 7 of that same something, and then you subtract 8 of that same something. Well, you got 10 of something and you add 7, that's 17. And then you subtract 8 of it, that's 9. You've got 9/15 left. Or 9/15. So, when you're adding and subtracting, adding or subtracting numbers with a common denominator, oops, let me just change that to a B. You're keeping the denominator the same, and you're just adding and subtracting the numerator, the number on top. That is where that rule comes from. Next video, the videos that follow, will cover multiplication and division of fractions, and I'll show you a few tricks.